how people navigate the complexity of buying a financial product emotionally. Because we know the basic buying journey goes through 5 or 6 different points: awareness, consideration, purchase, adoption, advocacy. But when you start thinking about this through an emotive lens, people enter into a buying journey feeling some type of, we'll just say, confusion. And so the very first step that they have to take, or the very first thing that they have to experience to keep moving forward in that journey, is they have to feel some type of clarity. And this is where the website secret shopping studies can quickly identify, are they feeling that clarity or are they feeling confused? Is that confusion being amplified? Because that clarity will then turn to courage. But just because there's some level of courage doesn't mean that they're ready to apply. They're going to have to get that courage to then that point of commitment is when they click the apply button and then go through and complete the entire application. Because just because they complete the application doesn't even mean that they're going to fully fund that all the way through. Yet alone, back to your previous point, doesn't mean that they're going to stick around for the first 90 to 100 days.
Yes. A
So
lot of factors here.
there's a lot of factors that play. And if we can begin to isolate, and that's I think the entire goal of the website secret shopping studies, it's to isolate specific areas of the buying journey. Where are we losing? And what can we do to mitigate that risk to then increase conversions? But if we're not talking in dollars and cents, which is really what matters to the C-suite most, and if we're only talking in percentages or only talking in, we lost 2,500 accounts because they abandoned this month, nothing
Yeah. Give me some
changes.
dollar signs here.
Exactly. This is a practical exercise and a practical reason of why knowing and understanding, or at least coming to a commonly agreed upon number for what customer or member lifetime value is, to run them through models like this. And we don't have time for today's discussion, but as I mentioned, there are 2 other transitional calls to action that will directly positively or negatively influence the buying journey before someone is ready to even apply. You have the request to call back, shortening the time for someone getting in touch with another human being. And then even higher up in the funnel is the clarity CTA, or something like download a buyer's guide, because we know that those directly have a positive influence all the way down to the bottom line of conversion. But then you're getting into funding. And so if you identify that you have a funding issue, let's go and fix that. If you identify that you have a retention issue, now let's go and fix that. So there's a lot, like you said, I think a lot of factors at play right here.
Yeah, there is a lot of factors, but I think it is so important just to focus on one at a time and not get too overwhelmed. I love that you referenced this as simply just being an exercise. I think that's exactly what it is. If you haven't seen James Roberts, he posted about this on LinkedIn not too long ago. But if somebody out there is listening and they're interested now, they're like, I want to do this exercise. How do I figure this out? What would you tell them? How can they do this next? Guide them forward so they can try to start to maybe paint that picture and really uncover just how much they are losing in loans and deposits because of some of these broken areas.
It's a simple Excel spreadsheet.
Well, I
Just
don't know if that's simple. People like me.
that is very true. I know some are Excel averse, but take, go and find how much traffic you're getting to a particular product page. Then just take 60 to 85%, maybe go in the middle, call that your abandonment rate, or actually go and find out what that abandonment rate number is, calculate how much you're losing per month in just numbers, multiply that out by $3,500, $3,000. Once again, from our secondary research, we're seeing the average customer member lifetime value coming in around $2,500, upwards of $4,500. So just find a number in the middle. And then that's your monthly loss rate right there. Take that number, multiply it by 12. So if we come back to the example that we were talking about, 10,000 visits per month for about $1 billion asset institution, running about an 85% abandonment rate on an application at a lifetime value of $3,500. They're losing about $8.7 million in potential lifetime value. Now you multiply that 8.7 times 12, keep the math really simple. That's, what is that? We're right around $100 million. So 9 times 12, 8 times 12, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96.
I was on a math teacher.
I know English is your forte. I'm having to go back to,
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm so glad he's crunching these numbers.
it is basic rudimentary. Like I'm having to
It
work with
is.
my elementary kids on their times table, and I never thought it would come back to serve me in a podcast.
Listen, kids.
But before we wrap up, I think that's a very good practical example.
Mhm.
But then it's important to get some, once again, this is all about benchmarking, to get some objective perspective of what else is going on in the marketplace, particularly when it
Yep.
comes to digital and neo brands,
Yeah. And how can they
because
do that?
they're playing a completely different ball game. I'm just going to come to some of the secondary market research that we have right here. Take Chime, for example. In this one study, it's reported that Chime, their acquisition costs are less than $100. If, and I think this is an important factor, acquisition cost or less than $100 for a customer that signs up for direct deposit. This is in a published Forbes article right here. And I'm going to quote, and those customers are worth, quote unquote, thousands if you assume they stick around for 10 years. Once again, how we started this conversation about retention. Coming back to this article, New York digital bank Money Lion targets customers in the Midwest, and they pay between $40 to $50 to acquire engaged customers who use at least 3 of their products. So once again, you're looking at not just acquisition, not just retention, but also engagement. And it says that those customers for Money Lion are worth between $1,200 and $1,500 if they stay with Money Lion for at least 2 years.
Wow. Just 2 years.
So you consider the fact that acquisition, retention, engagement, how much is this worth? And how much are you losing because of unknown gaps in a buying journey, in your marketing and sales systems and processes, positioning? This
Yeah.
is what website secret shopping studies help to begin to answer.
It is. It's such an important topic when you think about your marketing budget and then how much you spend to just attract new customers, potential customers to then fall off because of some complexity and one part of the buying journey.
And I think this sums it up nicely. It's something that I've been thinking tremendous amount about, and it's even being surfaced in the digital growth community. It's, what is the role of marketing as we continue moving further into the age of AI? And as the Financial Brand recently published some of my thinking in one of their featured articles, it's, does marketing have a marketing problem internally? And unless we're talking with some of these dollars and cents and knowing what they are, marketing is going to be flying blind. But that was the whole reason that I wrote Banking on Digital Growth to begin with in the first place. And I wrapped up the book with the final chapter in this manifesto
Yep, you did.
was, we will prove marketing's value once and for all. This is how we do it.
100%. Absolutely. So those listening can take some James Roberts math skills and bring them back to your organization. But moving forward, someone's just scratching the surface and trying to really understand, or maybe they're like me and they hear all these numbers and it hurts their brain a little bit. What next steps can someone take just to learn a little bit more about website secret shopping studies or just really understanding this buying journey?
Well, You've got a lot of resources in the digital growth community. So if you're not a member, you can sign up to become a member.